Multiviewer card for the FSN is a very powerful 16-input multiviewer. For setup, we have several options. First of all, in the output setup, you can select the format that you will be outputting to the multiviewer. You'll notice that SDI and DVI for 720p, but DVI only for certain resolutions like 1366 to 768. These are LCD monitor options only. For instance, same thing here for the 19 by 12. We're going to be setting our system up at 1280 by 720. So we'll have both an SDI output and the DVI output. The system can be run in either single or dual channel modes. When you select a layout that is a single output, then both channels of the multiviewer output card will output the same thing. If you go to a dual layout, then left will be one side and right will be the other side. We're going to go ahead and select a layout for our purposes here. We're going to go with layout number 2. Layout number 2 is going to give us access to our 3 main screens on top, some ancillary screens below, and then some sources below that. A few things that you can set up prior to actually filling out all the windows. For instance, selecting your colors. So you have the ability to select a background color, your clock background color, which can be different than your actual background, border colors, UMD colors, so you can have multiple background colors for your UMDs based on grouping for sources, as well as the widescreen marker if you're doing a blended setup. You can also learn the specific colors over here on the color palette. So if I take a specific color and then I want to adjust it some, I can then learn that color over here. We took our saturation down a little too far. So now we can learn this color and we've got a new palette to work with. I'm going to go ahead and take clock background color and we're going to make him kind of a yellowish. And if we turn our clock on, you'll notice there's our clock with the background color selected. You'll also notice I have several UMDs with different colors underneath them. If nothing is on program, you'll see the various layouts. You'll also see I have 2 sources off to my right-hand side that have red around them. That's indicating that the source is not present, that there's been an error in the signal. For the layout of the multiviewer, we simply select which windows we want to use. So I'm going to select program, for instance, and I'm going to change this to one of my auxes. I'm going to have this as my mix number 1 preview. I'm going to keep my left preview, and I'm going to change my left to my other preview for the downstage monitor. Now below that I've got my Emmys set up so that I can build effects and then take them to my various auxes if I prefer. Next to that I've also got Mix 1 Preview. Well, we don't really need to see Mix 1 Preview down there. Let's take a look at Mix 1 Program down there instead so that we have a verification of what's actually going out on program for Mix 1. And then of course we'll do the same thing for our left. In the multiviewer, you'll notice those windows will not mix, but they will cut. They're a phantom preview of our actual outputs. The actual outputs will dissolve from source to source. Now, if I have these 2 windows that I do not want to see sources, I can always turn them off, and those windows can go away. If I'd like, I can go in and actually identify my text a little bit further. So for instance, on camera, maybe I actually have somebody with a name there. Cameramen usually have names. So we'll call this Joe. So now we have a little bit more of a specific identifier there for Joe's cam. You can also select the color that you want to identify with Joe. For instance, we can make him a source, therefore he could be a different color. In the clock setup, you can determine if the clock source is going to be internal or if you're going to send it linear timecode. Now, if it's coming in timecode, it's going to be entered into the back of the Multiviewer card in the Phoenix connector on the back side. The clock display can be either 24-hour or it can be in 12-hour. The clock gets its reference from the system. To set the system clock, we go into User Prefs, Set Clock, and we dial in the time. Either in 24-hour or 12-hour. So 24-hour or 2:15 p.m. And you'll notice that the Multiviewer updates as well.